Well, that's right on the money, and that's what we're going to talk about, money and more. So this is Deeper Than Memory, Deeper Than Money with MaryAiñe, your hostess for this next hour. I'd like you to know that this is 97.3 and 107.9 The Rock. At KEBF Morro Bay, KZSR Paso. So it's a listener-supported community radio for the whole Central Coast, and we are streaming worldwide at centralcoastradio.org. And I want to put out a big thank you to all of those that listen to us online. It is so cool because we get comments in or fundraising money comes in from all parts of the world. It's so impressive to me, and I'm just so excited to hear that. So friends and family, tell your other friends and family and get them all on the rock. You can also take us wherever you go with the free Rock Community Radio iPhone app, and I will be back and tell you more in just a moment after I play this intro song. Yeah, so there's nothing you cannot visualize that you cannot achieve, and that's positive and minus. So this is MaryAiñe, and I want to continue telling you all about what's happening here. And there is the possibility that if you would like to send in your views or ideas or reach out to us in any way, you can at your voice at centralcoastradio.org. We are here for you. And we have a phone, too. The listener line is 805-772-2037. Now, I want you to know that the views and opinions do not necessarily reflect those of 97.3 and 107.9 The Rock or its management. If you have opposing views, reach out to us for your equal share of airtime. Remember, this is your station, 97.3 and 107.9 The Rock. And we are at the last week of this decade. Is that like, wow, whoever thought we would be in 2020? I didn't really imagine 2020. You know, it's something you throw around as, 2020 hindsight. I could kick myself in the pants for missing that cue or missing that opportunity. But whoever thought we would actually be in 2020? A whole new decade is just around the corner. We've got a couple of days left of 2019, and thank goodness I am looking at it as letting go of the adolescent years. And as you all know, adolescence can be a very tricky time, a time that we're very much in utopian thinking and fitting in thinking and trying to be a part of and the best we can be, and competition and SAT scores and what college are you going to go to and who's your girlfriend and how are you going to show up and are you going to make it in that band or in school, or are you going to get the art award, whatever it is, a citizenship award, what are you going to be when you grow up? And I had this illusion, I didn't know it was an illusion then, that when I would graduate and get into the working world, that it would be full of grown-ups. Boy, was that a shattering experience when I realized that a lot of life is just like high school. It doesn't really change. And holy moly, that was a big pop of my bubble to find out that the world out there isn't necessarily acting in a more mature, conscious way. There's a lot to be desired. But you, if that's something that is important to you, you have the ability, you have the choice, just like I do, to be whatever you want to be. And with that in mind, we're going to talk about how we put our vision, our dreams, into manifestation. We're going to put it into the incubator. We're going to let it cook, and then we are going to reap the rewards of our intentions that we put out there on a very conscious level. So stay tuned, because I have a lot to tell you today in a very short time. And I'm kind of trying to adjust things around here, like my seat level. And I am creating the space that I want right here in the station so that it is easy and hopefully graceful to continue with my message for today. Well, let's go ahead. So I want to review a little bit. And I was looking at all my notes and all of my music for this past year and seeing how, hey, I started with You Can Conceive It, Universal Principles, back in January of 2019. And some of the music that I played and who was on the show with me. And then we moved into the next holiday that is Valentine's, a lot of expectations around that. And creating your soulmate, that's a really big thing. Still, wanting to find your soulmate. And then March, I talked about what selfish really means, whether it is being self-reliant, self-love, how you take care of your own needs, have choices and boundaries. And, then we had some stuff about the presidency coming on. And moved into resources and Mother's and Father's Days, coming along. And I got to go to France. That was really fun. And looking back at what was coming up in the fall. So we moved through the seasons, and then in the fall was long dance and more about gratitude and having some really cool people show up on the show and just different things that happened, kind of organically. I would call it organically as we move through things. And I remember my word of the year was resilience. And especially while I was in France and my trains just kept getting changed, or I ended up in Marseille 3 times on the train. And so part of that resilience was, hey, I'm done being resilient. I know I'm flexible and resilient, but quit testing me, okay? And it's just going with the flow. The resilience is something that change happens. And so rather than getting upset, you kind of go, well, all right, what are my choices? What can I do next? And so I'm happy that that word will be completed very soon. And I'm the New Year's word that popped into my head the other day was expansion. Expansion. So I'm waiting to see what that's going to mean, as well as expanding on it and putting it on my vision board, that I want to see how I actually embrace expansion in the year of 2020. So remember that we're in the 20s very soon, and that's a whole new decade. So we can look at things with new eyes, listen with new ears, maybe find the ability to walk a mile in the other person's shoes and have some less judgmental qualities showing up. That would be kind of cool. And I trying to synchronize all these clocks around here at the moment. They all say a different time, which is pretty interesting. So which one is real? Which one is right? We don't have an anatomic clock in the studio. Not that it would really matter. But we'll do the best we can, and sometimes my best is good enough. So we are going to talk about at least 2 types of manifesting on the show today. One is with a hologram. It's a holographic manifestation that I actually love to do on the beach. It's fun because you can put this big circle on the beach and then it washes away and you're casting it off into the winds. The other type is when you do a vision board and really get into it. And I'm going to tell you about that. That's a little, well, they're both about equal time. So before we go to that, pardon me, I have a little bit of a nasal thing going on. We're going to talk about in song, the one thing everybody seems to want. And let's see what J.J. Cale has to say about it. About something coming up on New Year's Eve. Now, that's Tuesday night. The Rock has teamed up with the Siren for the biggest New Year's Eve party on the Central Coast. So come ring in the new year with live performances by Young Dubliners and the Aviators. Tuesday night, New Year's Eve at the Siren. It'll be your last chance to qualify and win a 4-piece Catalina drum set. How cool is that? With custom handmade cymbals. We'll draw a winner just after midnight. So the Rock's New Year's Eve party starts at 8:30 at the Siren in Morro Bay. How cool is that? And I also want to let you know that it's the Rock's Tax Break Fund Drive is always happening any time of the year. And if you want to help out the Rock, you know, Uncle Sam needs you, but we need you more. You can donate to us because we are a nonprofit organization, get a tax break for yourself, and help support the Rock, which would be really, really cool. So any time of the year you can do that, and we will happily give you a receipt. So let's talk about the holographic model of manifesting. Now, I love to do this one because you can do it anywhere you go. On a walk, on a mountaintop. I've done this all over on different vacations. I have taken hikes and thought, you know, I'm going to put this out there, and here I am up on a mountaintop or at the beach or at a river. And what I do first is I find a spot where I can draw a big circle on the ground. And I make the circle, about 4 feet in diameter. Not too big, not too small. 3 to 4 feet's cool. And then you start thinking about what it is that you are putting into this circle, because you are creating an image in your mind of what you would like to magnetically attract to your life. So these are positive statements. It's all very positive. There are a couple of rules about how you make this positivity come to you. And so you always make the statement as if it has already happened, that you know it's here for you. And like, I know I'm breathing. This is a fact. I wouldn't be alive if I'm not breathing. So I know I'm breathing. I know the color of my hair, the color of my eyes. I know how old I am. Those are statements of fact. So in manifesting, energetically, you use the same conviction in your statements as you do when you say, well, yeah, I'm so many years old. My hair is brown. Actually, it's kind of salt and pepper now. My eyes are mostly brown, but they're also green. And so it depends on the day, how brown they are, how green they are. I just happen to have those hazel kind of eyes. However, I do know for a fact that I am a woman. And so that's indisputable. So with this circle that you've drawn on the ground, you start putting these things in that you would like to manifest. If it's a house or a job or a car or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever you would like. Maybe you need an iPad or a computer or a coat. Maybe you would like to have a really cool dog. So you get in the energy of what it is that you want. And so this is how I suggest that you tap into this energy as you let yourself just drift back with your eyes closed to a time that was really happy for you, really positive. You felt a lot of love. You felt a lot of excitement. And it just feels really good. Now, for me, it's when my daughter was born, that feeling of, oh my gosh, what a miracle. I forgot all about the pain. And I just focused on those perfect little fingernails, on those perfect little fingers and toes. And oh my gosh, I was amazed. It was absolutely a miracle time for me. And so it's easy to pull that up, that feeling of awe. And so I get into that feeling first. And then I start thinking, okay, well, I see my book completed. And each chapter I see completed. And I can look at the book, that it's got the cover, it's printed, it's in a hardcover. I have it in my hand. I'm putting that in there, that all the motivation and discipline that it takes comes along with the fact that the book is completed and printed and a copy is in my hand. So I have the car that I really love, my Wonder Woman jet. I have that. So the fact that I still have payments on it, I see that going down, down, down to the final 0% owed. That's in my vision. It's 0%. I have paid off the car, and I am ecstatic about that. My little house is pretty much, well, there's little things that I'd like, but that, a lot of it has been completed, so I'm not going to go with that one. But having the book and having the speaking engagement signed up, the calendar year where I have it full of engagements that I'm actually being paid to speak at, that's a big deal for me. So I'm seeing that in there. I put that in there. So what is it for you that you want to put in your holographic circle, your energy circle, to complete? Maybe it's the cute little house, and so you have a picture of the front door. You have a picture in your mind of the windows, and what is the view out the window? What are you actually looking at from your bedroom window, from your living room window? What do you want to see when you look out the window? Put that in there. I did this with an office that I had years ago, and I wanted it in a certain building, and so I totally put that on there. I pictured it. And I got it within 6 months. Everything that I had put on my vision board, I got. But this is a holographic board, so this is an easy one to work with, and we'll get to the vision board in a few minutes. So when you have everything put in there that you want, and maybe it's a new car, so what color do you want? What kind of car do you want? How do you want the car to feel? What's the gas mileage you want? You put that stuff that makes you really happy, that, holy cow, I'm getting 40 miles a gallon. Woo, that's a big deal. So put that in there. It makes you excited. And then when you have everything in there that you want, and it doesn't have to be everything in the world you want. You can do this for separate things. When you feel complete, then you just ask yourself, it's like, how soon do I want this? Do I want it next year? That's kind of far. How about next month? Well, even that. So, I mean, if I'm creating and this is manifesting, then how about if I have it like tomorrow? That's cool. So we want it like right away. So then you just get into this energy of receiving, like when you have felt the best gift you've ever received, you get into that energy and get ready to jump into your circle because you know you want this as soon as possible. And here you are, you're ready to jump and you're springing up and you jump into the circle and yell yes at the same time, and then pat it into your whole body, starting down at your feet. Just pat in all of these things you put into the circle and feel the energy of it. It's like a Star Trek moment, when you're in a holographic picture. This is what you've created, and you feel that, and then you take all of this energy and you put into your cupped hands in front of you as as if you're holding a bunch of seeds in your hand that you're putting out there. And then take a big, deep breath. And when you're ready to exhale, blow it all out into the winds as if you are casting seeds. And often the waves, the wind, it picks it up. It takes it wherever it needs to go. And of course, you've seen those movies where they've started off with a wind coming up and leaves swirling about, and maybe there's notes or information or sparkles or stars or something that they go over to this place and that place and into that guy's pocket and over to this person. And so bits and pieces are being spread all over for you to magnetically attract them to you in their full manifestation. It's really cool. That's all you have to do. And then let it go. If you're at the beach, then either the wind will blow the sands and it will be taken into the ethers, or the water will come up and wash over it. And that's cool too. You let that happen as part of the creation of your vision. So we are going to talk about this more. I'm going to just keep talking about this until I'm done. But this, let me see. I want you to know about this right now. I'm going to just key up this song because this is the kind of feeling that I like to experience when I do this. It's got to go. Is it going? What's going on? It's not going yet. Hold on. I'm queuing it up. Yeah. And that's a good feeling when you're manifesting is let's make the earth move. Yeah. We're putting our desires into action and we're powerful if we choose to be. It's a choice. You always have a choice. And if you haven't known that up until now, I'm here to let you know that choice is something that each one of us has, how we respond or how we react. And it's a learned thing to respond instead of react, but it can be done. But we can go react at the San Luis Blues Society. It's coming up. Put it on your calendar, January 11th. So it's a very short time away. And it will be Tommy Castro and the Painkillers. And the jump jacks are opening the show. At first I thought it was the jump tacks, but it'll be the jump jacks opening the shows. So tickets are $20 for Blues Society members and $25 for the general public. But it's easy to become a member. You can get tickets at Boo Boo Records or Cheap Thrills in San Luis, or come to the door. Oh, yeah, there's 805 ticks, too, but just come to the door. It opens at 7 o'clock. Music starts at 7:30. You have to be 21. And it's a good, fun time. So it is still at the Vets Hall, I believe. I'm just scanning this really quick to see. It's always been at the Vets Hall on Grand Avenue. And if I'm wrong, somebody will correct me. But you can find out more by calling 805-541-7930. You can also volunteer calling that number, or email them at slobluessociety@yahoo.com. And they'll contact you about volunteering. You get free admission and 2 drink tickets. So it's a lot of fun. I've been doing it for about 20 years myself, and I am the popcorn girl. It's pretty fun. So we are going to, oh man, there's so much good stuff to talk about in here. I want to tell you about this too. I just have to, because it's coming up now through January 19th. It's Sign of the Times political poster exhibit, and these are political posters from 1844 to 2012 on the second floor exhibit space. Where is this? San Luis Obispo Public Library. That would be very interesting to look at these old political posters. Since it's all coming due next year, it's going to be a big political year. Oh boy. Oh boy, good time to go create stuff on your own. All right, so as promised, how to do a vision board kit. So I would start by really reviewing this past year. What things did you like about it? What things did you not like about it? What were you mediocre about? And are you satisfied with how things turned out? First off. So what things still need a little more oomph in your life? What things need to be focused on more now that maybe you got all these other things, but let's look at what else there is. Maybe you want a Caribbean vacation this year. Personally, I'd like to go to Avebury down the road from Stonehenge. That's on my list this year. And so I've got to manifest some big money to get myself there, and it happens. So I believe in it totally. I want to tell you just a little background of the first vision board kit that I made. I was giving a class, about 15 years ago, and so I put together this little kit with 4 sections of vision boards made from this special paper that it could fold up. It could be in small spaces like over a closet or down the wall. It didn't have to be a big round board. So I made it to adapt to the room that I had. And then each section I put something about my family, my office that I mentioned before, where I lived. It's the view out the window that I wanted. And I have done that numerous times, that same view out the window where I'm looking at the mountains or something beautiful. And the location that I wanted to live in, that was another big thing, where I actually had a view out the window at the mountains. And let me see, there was a couple of, the trip to Hawaii, and then the next trip was to Ireland at the time. And all of those things came within 6 months. It blew my mind, actually, because I put it together so I could take a picture of my board, then make a little picture that went on the cover of the board, and I added stickers and Post-its and felt pens and scissors because, pardon me a minute, I have to take a sip of water. I woke up with this sinusy thing going on yesterday morning and again today, and it's still kind of there. So talking a lot is a little bit challenging, but I shall prevail because I want you to know this information. Okay, so where you get the pictures is often out of magazines. Sometimes you even see this fantastic picture, like I have this warrior princess picture. I bought the whole magazine for that picture. It was Psychology Today, but I really wanted the picture of the woman in armor. And so that was years ago too, but I reuse that picture occasionally because I want her on my vision board. And you can reuse pictures, so don't worry about that. So you find the pictures that have the feeling of what you want to create. It doesn't have to be the exact picture that you have in your head, but if it gives you the feeling like a woman in a hammock at sunset on the beach, you know you're on the beach somewhere in a hammock, right? And so it's that feeling that the picture evokes. That's what you're looking for, because it's the feelings that draw what you're putting out there to you. You have to think of yourself as a magnet, and all the things that you desire, the universe knows. I mean, whether you call it your creator, God, spirit, whatever, great mother, Gaia, it is all wanting to help you realize that you have this power. And so you are acting as if it has already come to you, because in fact there is a cornucopia of wonderful abundance waiting for you to claim it. And it is your divine birthright to claim the abundance that is waiting. You have to say, yes, I deserve it. I have it. I own it. I am listening. And I love creating this wonderful stuff. And it's so possible. So then you decide what your vision board is going to look like, and it's going to be a collage type of thing. You can pick out words or write your own words that also represent the feeling, and you start pasting it on the board. Now, if you want to do it all together, that's cool. If you want to take a big poster board and cut it into a shape, that's cool. If you want to make sections like a pie, maybe quarters, 4 different areas of your life, your job, your home, your travel, your family, that's cool. Or maybe family members each gets their own section. Something like that. And then you put the pictures on there that represent how you want to feel when this comes to you. I did this with my car too. Well, I thought I was going to get a Subaru, and I ended up with a hybrid Camry. But the main thing that I wanted in the car, the most important thing I wanted, 2 things: good gas mileage and heated seats. That's what I was going for. Well, the car I got is like Wonder Woman jet. It even has blue lights along the seats and under the dash, and is all tricked out. It was new. Well, it was used, but that's how it came back to the dealership. It was all the bells and whistles, and I just could not be happier with the car I ended up with. And both front seats are heated, so for my passenger as well, or if I'm a passenger, I still have the heated seat. So you put this up on your wall where you can see it. Now, some say that you've got to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. For me, that is not the truth. Because to me, that kind of sounds like a whiny child going, "Oh, God, I really want this." Well, "I really want this" is not stating in fact that you already have it. So that's the secret to it is, and it's not about being able to just manifest the Ferrari. You also have to deep down inside of yourself believe that you deserve it. And that is another key part of creating with your vision board is whatever you put on there, you must believe that you deserve it. Now, one of the best manifesting stories I had in the beginning of doing this, I started listening to Abraham back when she was on cassettes. And so back in, when was that? In the early 90s is when I started really doing this. So I was in a situation where I was in a divorce and I needed a place to live, and I couldn't find what I needed for the amount of money that I had to put out on rent every month. And so I just kind of got this idea. It was blue paper out of the copy machine. I was working in an office with other professionals, and I wrote on the piece of paper, professional, employed, single woman looking for granny flat or private entrance to my space. Options desired: hot tub, bathtub, laundry, and Sierra views. I happen to be living up in the Sierras. And then I put my phone number. Well, here's the kind of funny thing that happened is during that space and time, about 3 months that this sign was out there, I had changed my phone number because it was a phone number I couldn't remember, and so I changed it, and I forgot about one sign that was put up at the little airport. And the other ones I eventually took down because it wasn't working. I was kind of disappointed. But then one day I got a phone call from a friend, and he said, "Call Doralee." And I went, "Who's Doralee?" And he says, "Don't worry, just call her." And I called her up. Now, I want to just say that the Sierra views and the hot tub, that stuff, there was a lady in the office that she read this and she looked at me and said, "Boy, you don't want much, do you?" And I said, "Well, if I don't ask for 100% of what I want, how will I get it?" And she kind of just shrugged it off. And I'm thinking to myself, well, yeah, I want Sierra views and I want the hot tub. I really want this stuff. So, okay, I left the message. I get a call, And she's laughing on the phone. She says, we even have the Sierra views. And so they were looking for what I call a doggy au pair, so they could go vacation up at their cabin way up somewhere in cold country, and they didn't want to take the 2 old dogs with them. So they needed somebody to stay at their place while they were gone. And it turned out I thought it was too good to be true. It took me over a week to move up there because I went up and we interviewed and we talked about what she wouldn't like and what she would like and how all this is going to work out and how much I'll pay for my part of the rent when they're not there and how we divide everything up and my responsibilities. And I really felt like this is too good to be true because let me tell you about this place. It was probably easily 4,000 square feet of house. It was up on 5 acres. It looked like a garden. It was just plush lawns, and when I was on the back side of the house, I could see the Sierras down the street. I had a fantastic view. My good friends moved down there. It was the most fabulous view of the Sierras that you could see from up on that ridge that you could imagine. There was a hot tub. There was a big jacuzzi. I mean, their whole bedroom, the master bedroom, was bigger than my whole cottage. And the little dogs, I had just lost my dog. She had cancer. She was a little pup who sailed to Hawaii with me and all kinds of things. And she was 13 years old. And anyway, so I was sad about that. I didn't really want dogs yet, but here I got 2 dogs to take care of. That was good. And what else? So while they were gone, I took care of the house and I took care of the dogs. It turned out that I lived there for 2 years, and they were only home 4 months of those 2 years. So that was just a sign that I wrote, believing that was going to come forward for me. And wow, that is one of my first and best manifesting stories. And it was better than I ever expected. And that's the other thing. I want you to tag on to anything that you put out there to create, that it's this or something better, okay? This or something better, and absolutely believe it's true. How do you think Walt Disney built what he built? He absolutely saw what he built ahead of time and built it. And we all know his legacy. So I am going to see if I have another song queued up. I hope I do. Actually, I wanted to play one. Is it in here? Number 2. I'm losing it. And Lisa's coming in. Yay! It sounds like Good Dogma will be on next. That is very cool. Yeah! Yeah, she just came in. Bodie's all excited. He's got his girl here. So I think I switched songs on some of the things, but I'm going to play one that I love. This is a favorite song of mine. And so I'm going to share it with you. Okay, this is MaryAiñe with Deeper Than Memory, Deeper Than Money, and I hope that you are able to use all of the wonderful tips that I have given you today about manifesting what you want, whether it be with the beach, the river, the mountaintop, you're doing the holographic type of manifestation, drawing your circle and putting everything in there that you want, or if you do it on paper with pictures and words, it will come to you if you get in the feeling of how you will be receiving it. So really pump up those feelings of joy and excitement and happy and, oh my gosh, I'm so thrilled to be getting this. It works. So I want to thank you for this whole year. Thank you to all of those that listen worldwide. And hey, we have America Free Radio that we get the show on until our next show. So it'll be January 11th when I come back. You can review this show anytime you want online at centralcoastradio.org. Look in the archives. And what else? I'll be back with some more exciting things to talk about in January, and we will go from there. Maybe we'll start talking about the money archetypes again. That is pretty interesting information. And if you have any ideas, well, feel free to email at yourvoice@centralcoastradio.org or find us on Facebook at The Rock Radio Station. Put your comments there. Anywhere you like. Look me up. And we'll have Lisa next with Good Dogma. So I'm going to say adios for now. Farewell. Happy New Year. Make it great. And you can, if you think you can.